Kaspa has been providing a bunch of technical analysis on their Twitter, so let's break down some of these key points in today's video. Hey guys, Foxy's Trading here, back with another crypto video for you guys, and we are back talking about Kaspa. Now, they have non-stop tweeted, just like I was saying in my last video, right? They are constantly retweeting or quote tweeting to people talking about Kaspa, talking about their tech, and kind of just giving people a bit better understanding of what is really happening, right? So like, for example, this or we have this, right? So I took 3 tweets that I found the most interesting that I think also you guys should know and that are important, because there are a lot and I don't want to make this video 30 minutes long. So I took 3 for today to break down because they are all important in relation to Kaspa. So I kind of just want to give you guys a little update on that and what they are saying and how the Kaspa technology is working. And then obviously we will be looking at the chart later on in the video. Okay. So let's get started. I'm not going to play this 6-minute video for you guys, but basically they were talking about the mass system. I'm going to let it run in the background if you guys want to have a look at that. But what I'm going to do is talk about what they say. So they say Kaspa fees priced in mass, not bytes. Compute, transient, storage, mass. Real network costs, spam has to pay. Okay. So let's break this down step by step very simply, and then 2 more to go after that. So most blockchains, they charge fees based on how big your transaction is in bytes. So basically how much space it takes up. Kaspa does it a little bit differently. Kaspa uses something that they say, which is called mass. Okay. Now there is 3 types of mass and they all measure different things. So we have compute mass, which is how much processing power your transaction requires. Then we have transient mass, right? I hope I'm saying that right, but I'm pretty sure transient mass. That is the short-term resource your transaction temporarily uses. And then we have storage mass. So how much long-term data your transaction adds to the network. Now, if this is going to be a lot of information to remember, something you can do and something I like to do is I have a journal beside me and I always take notes because it helps me remember my projects. And maybe you guys don't care that much and you guys don't have to, right? But for some of the people that really want to deep dive on Kaspa and understand the more behind the scenes of it, do that because it's going to help you refresh your memory, and writing it down, it's going to help you learn and you can always look back on it. Okay. So instead of paying for your size, you pay for the real cost your transaction puts on the network. And that is what they are saying and breaking down the 3 types of masses that they use. Okay, so basically simple, like this guy said, mass over bytes, got it, smart. Then we have the next thing that they talk about, which is 10 blocks per second on a POW. Mainnet wasn't supposed to work. Cas 10 blocks per second says otherwise. So in a traditional, by the way, POW is proof of work. In a traditional proof of work blockchain, let's just say like Bitcoin, people believed that you couldn't safely produce too many blocks per second because the network would get unstable and it would cause security breaks and just crash. So the rule, kind of the quote unquote rule of the industry, was that a high block speed plus a proof of work was impossible. And then Kaspa came around and it proved everybody wrong, right? And that's why we all know that the Kaspa tech is like no other and it is so strong. So Kaspa runs at around 10 blocks per second, I think it is. And it is running all the time live right now as we are talking. And that achievement is called the Cas 10 BPS. Okay. So this is only possible because of the unique tech that Kaspa has, which is the BlockDAG architecture, which is very complex. They have a parallel block processing system, and then they also have BlockDAG. Now, together with all those things, it allows Kaspa to handle multiple blocks at the same time, but also not breaking its security. Okay, so that is a big thing. And then let's break down this last point. BlockDAG actually uses parallelism instead of just saying scalable. 10 BPS to 3,000 transactions per second is the warm-up lap. Okay. So what does this mean? A lot of blockchains claim that they are scalable. Okay. That's a term that is tossed around in the crypto space very, very often. Not everybody, but a lot of projects say that they are scalable. But what they actually do is increase the block size, increase block speed, or they just move things off chain. Kaspa, what they are saying is that they are not just scalable. They are proving it with that real parallel processing, right? That parallelism, very tongue twister word to say. So Kaspa's BlockDAG, it allows many blocks to be created and also confirmed at the same time. So it's not one after the other like a normal blockchain would do. And that is what they would say, quote unquote, is true parallelism. Okay. So because of that, they are able to get that 10 BPS and those 3,000 transactions per second. And they say that this is just the warm-up lap. And I really believe that because they are constantly progressing, they are constantly improving, they are constantly upgrading. So I think in a couple of months, this is going to change and this is going to be upgraded. And then we're obviously going to have to talk about how that impacts the market and how it impacts the project. But as of right now, that is their statistics and their data, right? So we know that the limit, the ceiling is a lot higher, and this is just the start of something fantastic. So these were the three kind of main points that I wanted to talk about. I hope all of it was understood. I tried to break it down in pretty simple way. I know some words can be challenging and there's a lot of information being tossed around, but hopefully some of this stays in your head for the future, because I promise you there's going to be more things to talk about and more breakdowns of the company, because when a project has strong tech, you want to understand the strong tech to the best of your abilities, or at least I do, right? If I'm investing in something, I want to know everything from top to bottom. So those three were for today. More likely than not, they will be tweeting some interesting things for next week's video, and we're going to break that down, obviously. Let's look at CoinMarketCap before we pull up the charts. So down a little bit on price on the week, down in market cap, up in volume a little bit, 22%, not bad. 89% bullish, so close to that 90%. Let's get right there. And then still waiting for a few big exchanges, obviously Binance being the big one. So looking at the Kaspa chart, okay, what do we have? Very quick refresher. We have our fair value gap, right? It's an imbalance in price. We can see price respected it before eventually closing below and giving us that push to the downside. Awesome. Then where did it react to? We had this weekly fair value gap. Price did not reach it, but it did shoot up after. So now we go closer down in price. And we have this, right? So last week's video, where were we? It was right over here. It was also the Wednesday. So it was the Wednesday. We were inside this fair value gap that we broke below, right? That gave us the push to the downside. So what were we hoping for in last week? We were hoping for a push to the upside. However, you can see very, very clearly that price is respecting this zone, and simply put it, Kaspa is just not ready yet to push up, right? We have been trending to the downside. And if we break it down even further on the 4-hourly, you can see it very, very clearly. From the highs, we have a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, pretty much equal highs actually, and then a lower low, right? So we have this bearish trend to the downside. I think all of us can see that, right? We have this trending channel to the downside. Okay, so we've established that we are in this fair value gap. Price is respecting it. We are in a bearish trend. Now, where can we see price headed in the smaller time frame? So there's always major liquidity, right? And major liquidity for Kaspa on the weekly would be, this is the strongest point, but I don't think Kaspa is getting there. But there is an insane amount of liquidity buys over there. And then there's also liquidity here on the smaller substructure, right? Now, if we break it down even more on the 4 hourly and look for where could price go next if we are in a bearish trend, I see two possibilities, right? We do have this low right over here, which is a strong low because why? We swept out previous liquidity and we have not swept it yet in the past. So we know that this is a strong area. What else do we have in this zone? We have a 4 hour imbalance in price right over here. And we can see that in the past here, we have respected it and it gave us the push to the upside. So I would not be surprised if price wants to, give me a second, let me just draw this back out for you guys. I would not be surprised if price wants to take out this liquidity, go into this zone, and then possibly go back into this weekly fair value gap, right? So price could very simply look like this, right? That would not surprise me at all. And then what does that tell us? That tells us that we have our buying opportunity right over here. Now we always have to make sure we are looking at how price is reacting to this zone, because if we get two candles that are like this and like this, that are strong momentum to the downside candles, then most likely we are going to break right through it, close below, and then most likely give us a stronger push to the downside. And then it is a possibility of liquidity being swept. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. You just have to look at how price wants to react off of this zone. If it sweeps, reacts, consolidates a little, goes back up, more likely than not, we are going to be trading within this kind of box formation, right, that we have been seeing on the chart. So this big box until price is ready to close and push above, right? So once again, you have your buying opportunity. Good time to get in, right? Still at a very discounted price. I'm going to be saying discounted until the altcoin season comes, because I will promise you guys, the ones that are here holding Kaspa, believing Kaspa, when altcoin season comes and price is getting here, you're going to be seeing comments saying, oh, I wish I got into Kaspa earlier, or I wish this, I wish that. People always wish they could get into a project when it's too late and there's hype and there's trend and there's bullish momentum. But now is that time. If you believe in Kaspa and you understand what they are doing and the strong tech, this is your buying zone. If we have strong lower momentum, then the sweep of liquidity is a possible buy zone, or this weekly fair value gap, but we have not tested that. So that is a far way to go. But as of right now, this box that I drew out is your buy zone. So now you guys know how I see the price of Kaspa moving, the market analysis. So if you guys enjoyed this video today, make sure you leave a like, comment, any questions, concerns, anything at all, Kaspa to the moon. Hit that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot. Make sure you guys do your own research, because I'm not a financial advisor, and I'll see everybody in the next video.